So in this video, I'm gonna mostly talk about ADHD and kind of like my experiences, like how experiences from me growing up kind of have affected like my ADHD. Oh my God, I'm restarting. Okay. So I was gonna mostly talk about ADHD and then a little bit of. So before I just start like yapping about this, I think it's important to say that like I am not technically diagnosed with ADHD. I am self-diagnosed, and also like my therapist does believe I have ADHD. They like can't confirm it either, but it's definitely like I'm I'm 98% sure. So if I'm wrong, then like it is what it is, but um yeah, so like I guess I'll just explain it, but at least for me personally, but like having ADHD is like, it's like what a lot of portrayals are, at least for me, where you have like 1,000 ideas and you're just constantly they're pacing through your head. And it just like took me a really, really long time to understanding that I actually did have ADHD, and it wasn't like these other factors, because for a while I was just like, oh, it's my phone. It's, and which obviously like these things can definitely not help that. But, I was just like, it's just my phone. It's just this, it's just whatever. It's video games. It's like these dopamine cycles. And then I cut out almost all those things. I mean, besides video games, but like social media, just like instant dopamine, anything like that, like I've really like cut down a lot. And my brain still moves at like a million parts a minute. Like there's still all those thoughts. There's still just like the zone outs where I'm just so in my head, and someone just like, you haven't said anything, are you good? And I'm just like, I'm fine, I'm actually completely fine. Or it kind of goes both ways where I'm like not good at all and I have all these thoughts going, but like I can genuinely hide, at least to like most people, I think I can hide it very well. And you know for in a way I actually thought like, you know I was like, wow, that's really beneficial because nobody can tell when I'm upset, so I can just kind of be like, oh yeah, I'm all good. And the thing that my brain kind of trains me is that, if you don't bring up your problems, or if you're like, if you can always seem positive and always seem happy, and you can just always be the upbeat person, then like, people like that. They like being surrounded by positivity. A lot of people in general, just gonna wait for that truck to pass. A lot of people in general just don't want to hear it all the time, right? Especially if it's like in a work setting, or if they're also going through something. And honestly, that's just been my role like through my life. Like as a kid, I just was very good at listening, and I just kind of let people say what they wanted, and I think they felt it was very easy to talk to me. And it's good to be a good listener. That's something that like I'm trying to like relearn, because like I feel like a part of that kind of got lost. But like eventually when you become such a good listener, you just forget how to talk and bring up things, especially when you have a close relationship with someone. And I know my ADHD definitely it's a factor to the people close around me that love me, and they genuinely just want to know what's going on, or they want to look out for me. I know my girlfriend feels that, my family feels that. They're like, I just wish in some way they just knew what was happening, because sometimes you can really just, again, this is just me personally, just kind of go so in your head, you're just like, I lose track of like time or context, or I'm just so quickly on to the next, like we'll talk about something and I'm just like, already 3 ideas past that. And that is, I don't know, it can be just so difficult. Like, I can go to bed, like when I go to bed and I don't have like, you know, my phone or a book, like it will take me hours to fall asleep because I can just replay everything in my head, random ideas, things that happened throughout the day, what I did right, what I did wrong. You know, if it's a night where it's on the negative and, you know, you're having those bad thoughts, that will just spiral tenfold. So I really realized, like, I'm like, I could go to bed at 10 or 9 p.m., but I would actually fall asleep at, you know, 1 a.m. because finally, like, after 3 hours, my brain is like, okay, we're gonna, like, let you sleep. But sometimes it didn't even, you know, it will just go till like 3 a.m. Like, and, you know, also, again, I want to say, yeah, like I'm self-diagnosed, but also some of these things might not be like fully ADHD related. I don't know, but like, you know, it's my life and I'm just bringing it up. And I assume that it somewhat has to do with that. But, you know, I really notice like, one of my big things is like I stress about my family all the time. Like I stress about all of my family all the time. I want to make sure they're doing well, make sure everything's okay. You know, I want them all to be successful in life and be happy. And, you know, part of me is just like, well, maybe, you know, if I do these 8 different things, like I can change the outcome and fix that and do, you know, and, you know, like in my head, I'm like, these people's happiness and what their daily lives, like I can control that. And that is literally like a thought I have to fight all the time. And it's just crazy. It's something that, you know, I got to bring myself and reel myself back in and just be like, no, you're not you're not in control of that. These things are things that they need to figure out too. You can help, you can be supportive, but I don't know what's going on here. I got like a little reflection, or hopefully that shows up in the video. That's interesting. Okay, I guess a reflection of the lights going through me, but anyways, yeah, see, I just it's really distracting though, to be honest, but yeah, I just see, I'm like, I'm already doing it right now. You guys are seeing it live because I haven't done a video longer than like, well, I've only done one video and it's been like a couple minutes. And now that I'm in like the longer territory of this video, I just am getting sidetracked again. Which is like, I mean, it's kind of the point. I just thought I would spew off my relationship with it. But I guess one of the points I was coming to is like, there's like, I can worry so much about my family, but at the same time, I'm not actually like saying that. I'm just like absorbing it as it comes through, and then I, you know, stay silent about it. And that's the thing, like, you know, my family could just be there and they have no idea that I'm stressing this hard. You know, honestly, every night, about them. And, you know, I worry for them and I care for them deeply. And I think it's just crazy that like sometimes I'll think about it so much and, you know, not actually say a word, which is another thing I've been just trying to work on, just texting and really just like saying, hey, I love you, I hope everything's okay, and just reaching out to them whenever. It's never a bad time to tell someone who you care for that you love them and that, you know, you're there for them. And that's like one of the big ways I've learned to deal with my ADHD is like tell someone or write it down or talk about it, you know? Those are like, just any of those things can just kind of help you through the process. Like I have started just writing down my thoughts all the time. I think that's just something people should do in general, in my opinion. But, just writing it down, even if you never look at it again, you never touch it again, you would be surprised how much it actually can help you. And slowly but surely, these systems, have just worked for me. I mean, my one best friend, shout out Cam. Something's happening, something's going on. I'm calling Cam, or I'm telling my girlfriend, and those two really can help me through something like that. So it's important, and that's my experience. Reading also is great because you can just train your brain all the time to focus on something. It's, with social media before, I was like, this is bad, because there's just some days I could just be on Instagram all day, and there goes my day. And then all of a sudden I don't have time, and of course my brain's like, oh my God, I don't have any time to do this. And of course, because my thoughts are going so rampant, I'm like, I want to do 8 things now. I want to do this, this, and this. And I think, at least for me, I'm not trying to speak on everyone, but the way I'm gonna talk and continue talking is like, it kind of sounds like I'm speaking for everyone with ADHD, but like, I tend to notice it's like a make or break, where it's like we're doing everything all at once, and then they overload, and then they just completely just, self-destruct, which is what I do a lot. I think I've been getting a lot better at it, but it's that, or like when we're honed in, I can just really lock down on something and just get it done really quickly, or just devote a ton of time to it. Like, I do video editing, and I can, sometimes it's hard for me to open Premiere Pro and be on there for 5 minutes and I close it. And sometimes I can be there for literally like 13 hours editing, and just like take bathroom breaks and keep editing. Like, it's really like that severe and that different. And if you hone it, honestly, it's a great feeling if you can hone it in. I do plan to get fully diagnosed and tested, but it takes a while. It also costs money. So, that's something that I want to get around to. But reading, talking to somebody, writing down your thoughts, and then also just having a calendar. Just giving yourself direction, and having the proof of writing something, because you can have some great ideas or just some great things you want to do in life or towards people, or say something nice to your partner or to your friend, but it doesn't matter if you don't remember it and you forget about it 5 minutes later, and there's all this change or all these things you want to do. So you need to write it down and come back to it, because for me, I will forget that shit really quick. So, just exercises like that. And I am certainly no expert in this yet. I am just working towards it and trying to get better every day. And, just don't be hard on yourself if you fail or you miss some days and you kind of fall into your old habits. That's a normal process. That is something that is bound to happen for almost all of us. And it's the reaction after that is what gets stronger. Being able to just pick yourself up and bounce back, and being like, you know what, I slipped up there. That was my bad. That's okay. We're gonna do better next time. I'm not gonna hate myself for it. I'm not gonna punish myself and do all these extreme measures, because if you do that, then truly that is the worst thing you can do for your consistency's sake, for your mental health is just being hard on yourself. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help yourself. It doesn't help the people around you. And it will surely just kind of hurt any cycle that you've been working on. So be graceful to yourself, try to keep focused on it, but understand that there's highs and lows, and everyone's been at the lows, and you can certainly be back to the highs. So this is already 15 minutes. I've been yapping. There's thundering already, so I think that's my cue to go.